Do you ever feel like you're just not making any progress? You're putting in the work, you're trying so hard, but you still feel stuck. You might even be wondering, will I ever really heal? But what if healing isn't always a huge breakthrough? What if it's happening in quiet, subtle ways you might be missing? Emotional healing rarely announces itself with a lightning bolt from the sky. It shows up softly in tiny shifts in your thoughts, your feelings, and how you react to the world. These changes can be so small that you might not even recognize them as progress. Because healing isn't a straight line. It's a messy, beautiful dance of ups and downs. When you're in the middle of it, it's hard to see how far you've come. So today, we're exploring 7 quiet signs that prove you've healed more than you think, even when it doesn't feel like it. You react differently to triggers. The first sign, and it's a big one, is that your triggers just don't hit the same way. Remember when a certain comment or even a delayed text could send you spiraling for hours? The old you would react instantly, but now you might notice something new, a pause. Just a little bit of space between the trigger and your reaction. In that space, you find a choice. It's not that you never get triggered, but when you do, it doesn't automatically mean a catastrophe. A disagreement isn't the end of the world. You're learning to respond with intention instead of just reacting from old wounds. Your inner critic is quieter. The second sign is that the voice in your head has started to change its tone. For so many of us, our own inner critic is the harshest voice we know, replaying every mistake on a loop. But as you heal, you'll notice that voice gets a little softer, a little kinder. You might catch yourself making a mistake, and instead of beating yourself up, you think, it's okay, you're human. You're shifting from judgment to self-compassion, offering yourself the same grace you'd give to a good friend. That's a beautiful sign that you're learning to accept all parts of yourself. You set boundaries without feeling guilty. Sign number 3, you're not just setting boundaries, you're actually sticking to them without that awful wave of guilt afterward. Before, saying no might have felt terrifying, like you had to apologize and over-explain yourself. But as you heal, you realize that boundaries aren't about shutting people out, they're about protecting your own peace. You start to honor what your body and soul are telling you. You say no to things that drain you, and yes to things that light you up. You don't feel the need to justify it anymore, because taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's essential. If any of these signs are hitting home for you, take a second to share which one you've noticed in your own life down in the comments. Acknowledging your growth is a powerful step, and it helps others on the journey feel less alone. You're okay with being still. The fourth sign is that you're getting more comfortable in your own company. Maybe there was a time when silence felt unbearable and you had to fill every single moment with noise, a podcast, music, a task, anything to outrun your thoughts. Now, you might find that solitude feels peaceful instead of lonely. You can just be without needing a distraction. This growing comfort with stillness is a quiet but powerful signal that you don't need anything outside of yourself to feel whole. You are becoming your own safe space. You're more present and less lost in the past. Here's the fifth sign. You're actually here, in the present moment. Emotional pain has a way of locking us in the past, forcing us to replay old memories or trapping us in anxiety about what's next. As you heal, you'll notice your mind naturally starts to let go of that grip. You might find yourself truly tasting your morning coffee, feeling the sun on your skin during a walk, or being completely absorbed in a conversation with a loved one. When you're not constantly being pulled back into old wounds, it's a clear sign that the past is losing its power over your present. You feel a genuine sense of hope. Sign number 6 is the return of real, authentic hope. When you're in the thick of it, it's almost impossible to imagine a future that isn't colored by pain. But as you process that pain, you'll start to feel a flicker of hope for what's ahead. This isn't about forcing yourself to be positive, it's a quiet, gut-level belief that new things are possible. You might find yourself daydreaming about the future, setting small goals, or just feeling a gentle sense of excitement for what's to come. This means you are moving from just surviving to truly envisioning a life you want to live.
You can look at your past with compassion.
And the final sign, you can look back at the person you used to be and feel compassion instead of shame. Before, thinking about past mistakes might have made you cringe, but the healing journey allows you to see that version of yourself not as broken, but as someone who was doing the very best they could with what they knew at the time. You can acknowledge your story, the good and the bad, without letting it define you. You no longer feel the need to tell everyone your story for validation, but you can share it from a place of strength, if and when you choose. Sometimes the best way to see how much you've healed is to notice the things that aren't happening anymore. It's the argument you didn't get into, the spiral of self-criticism you didn't follow, the quiet moment of peace you were able to enjoy. Healing isn't a final destination. It's an ongoing journey with good days and bad days. But every one of these subtle shifts is proof that you are moving forward. Be patient with yourself and please celebrate these quiet victories. You've come so much further than you realize. If this message resonated with you, please give this video a like and subscribe for more content on healing and personal growth. And don't forget to share it with someone who might need a reminder that their progress, no matter how small it feels, is real and so worth celebrating. Thank you for being here today.